thanks for that. Well, here we go. Round 4 today. I hope you've enjoyed the 3 games so far. I'm sure this one will be as good. As Johan was saying, one player of extreme form at the moment in Esme, and one player that will most likely never lose form in Neil Burket.
Lost a bit of sound there on the mic.
Yeah, unfortunately the sound did go, but apparently that's got something to do with
Maybe
one of
it's
these
the weather.
objects.
Yeah. Lost a bit of sound there. Yeah.
It really can be a buggy.
Sleeping tablet. Do you know what the results have been so far in this section? How did Esme go and how did Neil go? Can we check?
I hope the game doesn't finish before I get this right, but let me have a look. Right, believe it or not, I tapped twice and I'm on the logs.
Well done, Al.
Gee whiz.
Becoming a whiz kid with that thing. Well done. Yeah.
Section 14.
14.
My normal luck is it'll stop after 13. Right. Esme's won her first game. Neil lost. Neil must have lost to Tyler Pitcher.
Yeah.
And Esme beat Miles Norman. Yeah. Yeah, Tyler's another one of those young up-and-coming bowlers. A member of this club. Plays out of the Boerland also. Joined Sierra's Bowling Club.
While you're at it, Alan, can you give us some more results of the other sections, please?
Just, you want me to go from 1?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Okay, no problem. I'll just scroll down. I've got this taped. Okay, so section 1, it's completed for the day. Johnny D'Souza is 2 out of 2. Sean Thomas is 2 out of 2. Laura York has played 2, lost 2, and Monet Skeepers has played 2, lost 2. Section 2 is completed. Johannes van der Walt is top.
The exciting young Johannes van der Walt that's going to be playing for Jerry in the pairs. So he's off to a cracker, 2 out of 2.
Tennis Olofse is 1-2, lost 1, 1-1, lost 1. Ellen Lee is 1-1, lost 1. And Gillian Young hasn't won yet. Stoffel is top of the other section. Colleen is second. Colleen's lost a game.
Yeah.
Tony van der Poel has played 2, 1-1, lost 1. Ian Hamses hasn't won game. Jerry Baker's 2 for 2. Amron Haseman has played 2, 1-1, lost 1. Ryan Truter is 1-1, lost 1.
Wally Brown.
Wally Brown is top of section 5. Won both his game.
It's a bit
Kevin
surprising
Douglas.
Kevin has dropped both these games,
Yeah.
Alan.
It is surprising. And Petula Fontaine and Mark Bevis Challenor have both 1-1, lost 1. Wayne Roberts 2 for 2. Lydia Moritz 1 up, 1 down. Louis Botha 1 up, 1 down. Armand, unfortunately, who we've just watched, has lost both. Roger
One in a
Boulay,
tiebreaker, if I may add, to
Yep.
Louis, and now in another tiebreaker. So, bit stiffies.
Mm.
Roger Bull,
yeah,
Dodge,
he's
known
2
as
for
Dodge.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah, Warren Stein is 1 up, 1 down. Cully's 1 up, 1 down. Jenny Jones has lost both. Kevin Smith, 1 up, 1. Oh,
That's
that's an
wide
open
open.
section.
Robbie
So-
Robertson, Vaynant Poole, Kevin Smith, and Jaco De Nation have both won 1 and lost 1.
Yeah.
That's wide open.
Okay, that section is only 1 game, and Jason's 1-1. And Petro Breert has 1-1. Nick Rustling has lost. Fred Botha has lost. Stefan De Jager is 1 for 1. Megan Van Zyl is 1 for 1. Wayne Perry lost, and Clayton Kleinans lost. Section 11, Cornan O'Dear is 1 for 1. Andrew Sturley 1 for 1. Betty Robertson lost, and Wayne York lost. Anneke Skeppers is 1 for 1. Gareth Nels 1 for 1. Tinus Kraus and Peter Harvey both lost.
So Emma Murphy got up on that tiebreaker to win that game. So she's gone one from 1.
Okay.
And she's leading that section alongside Garth Waite.
Esme is 1 for 1 title. We've done that. Davy O'Hearn's 1 for 1.
Baby boy.
Desi Rosenblatt 1 for 1. And Edwell and Adonis and Matthew Speedy are both lost. Final section, Barry's Barnard is top. Alan Nell is top.
Oh,
1 for 1. Nixa has lost.
Nixa lost his game.
And Trotsky has lost. Now, if you asked me at the beginning, I would have said that's the wrong way around.
Yeah, it should have read Nixa, Francois, and then
You'd
the
think.
other two, with respect to
You'd
the other
think.
2 players.
And that's how
But they
this-
still got a long way to go.
That's how this game of bowls is, eh? Okay.
Right, this game is about to start. We've got a slight drizzle. The raincoats aren't out yet. Niels won the toss and he's elected to get it going.
I got Jeffrey Ratkin from Israel just telling me I've been hacked. I know that. On a couple of occasions. I don't know why. I don't know what they hope to achieve.
Right, let's hope I get this one right. Neil plays with a Drake's Professional, and Esme is playing with a Groove, Aero Grooves. Bergs won't be too unhappy about his start.
No. See if Esme can make that slight adjustment. Seems to be on the inside of her bowl. Just not going to make it. Straight away, Esme's under a bit of pressure here. Neil's line 3.
So, Ellen, I've just been notified by our president, Mr. David Hammer, Bowl South Africa, that our selection expiry date for the World Cup later in November in Hong Kong has been extended. To the 27th of June. That's more or less when we have our next Golden Green Squad camp. As you know, we'll be selecting 2 men, 2 ladies and 1 non-travelling reserve per gender.
And this option is to select the best of the best, the top out of the gold squad?
Absolutely.
Only out of the gold
Absolutely.
squad?
Yeah. Not entirely sure. They Hong Kong has let us know, or World Bowls, that we'll be playing both indoor and outdoor. It's not quite sure what the sort of split will be, how much indoor, how much outdoor, but I can only, from being there, you know, and you've been there.
No, I haven't.
Oh, you haven't been to Hong Kong?
No.
You've got the outdoor greens both at Craig and Dow and Hong Kong Football Club. It's a broadleaf, and those greens don't easily get up to quicker than 11 or 12 seconds. So you'll be playing on those sort of greens, I would think, and then moving upstairs to the indoor centre.
Which runs it?
At Hong Kong Football Club, all next door at Craig and Dow, and they could run up to 17 seconds. So it's quite a big contrast.
Oh my word. Neil switching very quickly onto the forehand. 1 bowl on the backhand, and I think he's taken a disliking to that. And looks pretty close here. If he runs it out, is he going to run it out?
Well, he played the backhand on the first end, going up the ditch, and so I think playing that bowl maybe just feel things out. It's early days. You can
Sure.
afford
Sure.
to do a little bit of a tester.
Yep.
Still a little drizzle out there. Nothing too hectic. I think this could be better weight, Alan. Oh, I think Burks has played a corker. Yeah, that's well played.
Yep. Good adjustment. What did Derek say? Measure.
You know, something about Neil that I've had the privilege of taking advice from him, and he's very strong on the centre line, not crossing it, and that's a great example of what he's on about.
Yeah.
I think it really, at all levels, it's obviously very applicable, but I think very much so more in Australia. With
Well,
the
I think
quicker
that's where
greens.
he learnt it from,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, Neil and I have kept in touch over the years, no matter where he finds himself, Australia, Port Elizabeth or Cape Town. And yeah, he told me he picked it up from Australia. You just can't go under the line.
No, he just
Sold it.
flipped the line.
He knew it. He knew it from the moment it left his hand.
This is Miles Norman.
Yeah. Gets through the port here, little feather off that bowl.
Maybe
and
a little back door.
good score.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think she's in. Well, that's the reward you get when you play with good weight, Al.
Correct. Esme goes into a lead 2-1 early days. And if you, sorry.
Sorry, Alan,
carry
did
on.
you say Kevin Smith? Did he win both his games?
Yeah.
Section 8?
Yeah.
I think that win, Alan, at Wingate for Kevin must have really elevated his confidence and his belief. Not that I ever believe he lacked it. He's too much of a sportsman, but surely a win, and especially against a legend like Neil Burket, must have done wonders for his confidence.
No question. But as we were saying earlier on, Kevin comes from the sporting code background. He's played it all. Pretty good friend of mine who I'm staying with on Friday and Saturday night here in this area. Played hockey with him. So Kevin Smith has played a bit of everything and been pretty good at it also. But when even, I think he's been in the game for 8 years. But you could tell from the moment you met Kevin,
yes,
the one thing he didn't lack was confidence.
And commitment to putting in the time and the effort.
Yeah. He really believed that he could do it,
And tell me, Alan, has he pulled a tooth for you or not yet, or don't you trust him that much?
I just don't trust dentists, so it's not Kevin Smith. Just to Esme, she started at bowls here in Cape Town, and in fact started at Constantia Bowling Club.
Is that so? I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I had the very good fortune of playing mixed pairs with Esme for quite a few years, and I remember very early on, she said to me she's determined she's going to play for South Africa, and my reaction to that was, maybe set your sights a little bit.
It's a long journey.
It's a long journey, but she's proved me wrong. Very determined, always has been very determined to make it to the top, and she's done it.
Well, having said so, Alan, she obviously moved from here to Pretoria.
Yes.
Where she joined Wingate, and I joined Wingate after being a member of high school always for many years, and I have recollections of the two of us on separate rings, afternoon after afternoon, rolling for a good hour and a half. So very dedicated, committed player.
Looks like Burks is holding two at the moment.
Burks is in for the trifecta.
Yeah, jackpot, trifecta, tripler, you name it, he's in for everything.
Still loves his horses.
Oh God. He was up watching the inter-districts at Constantia, and got to lunchtime, and he said, okay, he's got to go off, he's got to go place a few bets.
Have a little bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the racing scene, Alan, I know you're a soccer fanatic and not a horse racing fanatic.
Sorry.
But
Sorry. Can I stop you there?
Football.
Thank you.
Apologies. I'm a Anglicized Dutchman, and they've lifted it's a quick bit of information. They've lifted the export protocol, so we're getting horses out here far easier without the long extensions of quarantine, etc., and in a very short space of time we've been fairly successful both in Europe, at Dubai, and in America. There's a horse called Isivungu Vungu, a horse from Natal, owned by the Hollywood Bet Syndicate, that has done exceptionally well. He's a great sprinter, and all of a sudden the prices of racehorses have escalated because of the rand dollar, so they're coming from all over the world to buy the better horses, and so the average has moved up to in the excess of 400,000 rand.
Wow.
Which is great for the breeding industry.
Yeah, and for those who are not aware of it, you were heavily involved in breeding, weren't you? Horses.
Yes, Alan. Started off in my early days after my little stint in the army with being a racehorse trainer, assistant racehorse trainer. And then eventually breeding. I had a small little stud farm, had a bit of fun. Nothing as beautiful as a lovely looking thoroughbred.
Absolutely. Yeah, look, I mean, I don't follow. I used to follow the horses when I was in my early days as an apprentice in the printing industry. When you worked for Cape and Transvaal printers, you had no choice but to get involved in horse racing. There was always somebody going down to the track and taking bets, and so we had some good fun backing horses in my youth. Moved away from is from Tricolor Press, from Cape and Transvaal Printing, and then lost interest. But yeah, it was good fun. Every now and again I would take myself down to Kenilworth Racecourse and just have a blast of an afternoon there with a lovely lunch and play quartets, because I reckon if you're going to play quartets and you're going to win something, you know.
Well, do yourself a favour, if you've got a spare Saturday, which I don't think is too often, make your way down to Kenilworth Racecourse. The facilities have been upgraded to another level. There's a chap called Greg Borch that's heavily invested in the upgrading of the racetrack. Otherwise they do a fantastic TV presentation on the Saturday afternoon. Great presentation team, etc. Anyway, back to the bowls. Burkie is settled down quite nicely with his line and his weight.
Little touch on that.
Very close
just
again.
Little touch, and it's definitely four. She got the jack. Oh, what a great bowl, Esme. Wow, that's a pressure bowl.
That's purely magnificent.
Yeah.
I mean, she was, in my opinion, she was a bit quick on the mat, but she pulled it off.
I think Burks would have said something along the lines of one bowl wonder, but I'm sure she can handle it.
If she fell there, if there's such a word, I mean, she would have been down 8-2 after 4.
Yeah.
You know, staring defeat in the eyes after the first set. So what a wonderful recovery. Come on, Al, are we in for another possible tiebreaker? What do you say, pal?
I mean, there's always that possibility. I'm going to back experience here. I think after the first few ends, I think Esme's played a couple of saving shots. I think Neil has been the far more consistent.
No doubt.
Yeah. So prove me wrong, Esme. I'm going to back my good mate Neil Burket. So if you outside of South Africa, Esme was asking in Afrikaans how far her first ball was short. See if she can make that adjustment.
I think she's overcooked it yet a little bit.
Burke sticking to the backhand.
Hold to the jack. It's good enough.
You've got enough of it, yeah. But you can already see, Johan, the difference between Wayne Adamon's game, the speed of that green.
Yeah.
The way it was finishing now with this little bit of rain, it just hasn't got that same
Finish. Yeah, it's definitely slowed down a little bit by maybe a yard or so. It's trying very hard, yeah. Could be the shot. Is the weight going to save him? Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah,
Yeah, 2-0. Looks under. Yeah. Pity the weight was good.
Neil fancy himself here to perhaps get another shot. Draw it clean, set the back bowl. He's in.
Yeah.
3 great bowls from Neil.
What a servant he's been of the game, South African bowls, for many years. Back, I think the first time was '92. I think they went to Worthing, if I'm not mistaken. Somehow I think that rings a bell.
Yeah. You know, I had the pleasure, my very first African States, I was selected to lead for Neil. Never lost a game in the pairs to win the gold. What an experience.
Yeah.
You know, and talking about types of bowls, Neil at the time was the agent for Taylor Vectors, or Taylors for that matter.
Yeah.
And he opted to take these set of Vectors with him. They were ultra tight. And we got on this extremely rough green, I think it was in Gaborone. And then the day prior to the competition started, we had a practice game, and Neil, with those Vectors, couldn't get within 3 yards of the jack. And I thought, yo, here comes a lot of trouble. You know, and then it's the lead. You know, put the lead back on the plane, or put him in the train or whatever. Anyway, Neil came out that next morning smoking. I mean, we never lost a game.
Yeah. Oh, well bowled is, mate. A little bit short, but good opener.
And then years later, Alan, I had the distinction going with Jerry and Neil to Tweed's Head for a one-off test against Australia. Neil played exceptionally well against Steve Glasson, only to lose. But I mean, Steve Glasson was just unstoppable. Myself and Jerry lost in the pairs, and then we teamed up as a trips team and we won.
I remember
We
that.
beat them, and that was
I
really
remember watching
Neil
that,
with
yeah.
his last bowl had a foot to drawing to the string, and you do it. And I must say the Aussies got behind us, and
That's
that's
unusual.
very unusual.
In Australia.
In Australia,
Oh, that is well bowled is, mate.
there was less Aussie. There was a bit more bookie.
Wow, is that in Perth?
No,
Oh.
at Tweeds.
Wow. Sydney.
No, on the Gold Coast.
Whatever. Sorry, Johan.
Just around the corner from, you know where the Checkers is? Alan.
Another good one.
Yeah, the great Donnie Picketh at the time unfortunately had an accident, I think a couple of weeks before the tour, and it gave me an opportunity.
He gave a few guys opportunities. He gave Bobby Donnelly an opportunity also. Well played, Neil. That was the year he fell up the stairs.
I don't know if it was up or down, but he fell. Shame.
Love him. Of course, I did Commonwealth Games with Donny, so we go back years.
Well, he at the Interdistricts the other day, he drew an absolute perler, and he turned around to his manager, Max Hurwitz, and he said, "Blast from 94."
I don't think I played anything without Neil. That era, mid-90s. Everywhere we went together. So we did quite a few trips. Obviously Canada, Australia.
And in a typical fours game, Al, sorry for my ignorance, but would you slot in a 3 for Neil? Was that sort of the...
Then?
Yes.
No, I played second.
You played second.
I played second, yeah. No, Robbie Rayfield was our
He
third.
was maybe, well, he was a great second.
Well,
So they hit you at 2.
they hit me.
Okay.
They say you can always hide a third. No, Robbie was may he rest in peace. Robbie was just a lovely person to go on tour with. I'll never forget at the That's not my phone. I'll never forget at the Commonwealth Games when Neil was just unbelievable. And you would just hear across the green, "Well bowled, Neil." In that tone all the time. "Well bowled, Neil."
After taking a puff of that cigarette
Yep,
of his.
yep. And when we got to Victoria and Vancouver Island, they told us when we went to the bowls complex, which is called Wandafuka, they said there's no smoking inside the picket fence. Robbie just about lost it. But there were 4 greens inside a picket fence, and they decided to relax it a little bit, and they let him smoke inside. But yeah, and when we drew an end drink, he was on top of the world, because then he could just go up and down. Good start, Neil.
Alan, at the recent inter-districts held up in Johannesburg, I had the privilege of bumping into none other than Bill Mosley. It was lovely to see Uncle Bill.
Yeah. Belgravia.
It was at Bedford View.
Yeah, but I mean, he plays at
yes.
Yeah.
Don't know if he still plays.
Yeah.
One of the true greats of the game.
Absolutely.
Absolute legend.
Yeah, in South Africa. I mean, we've got a few of them. Obviously, all of them that came out of that 1976, of which he was one of them.
I think his breakthrough came early on with that Kodak invitation
in Worthing.
Also correct,
Worthing,
yeah. And I think he did very well.
He did.
Not an easy man on the green, but off the green, an absolute champion.
Yeah, I can recall playing in an inter-district when Western Province was still trying to win an inter-district, and we went there with a team of relative unknowns. No Burket, no Campbell. We did have Ashley van Winkel, and we played in Durban, and we were down one morning. Just watch this shot from Esme. We were down one morning having breakfast, and Bill Mosley was sitting on his own at a table, and Western Province were all kitted out, ready to go to the club. And he actually stopped me. He said, "Alan, this is so impressive. You guys are a team. You're solid. You can see. You do everything together." And that really came from just team spirit, you know. The bend.
Gone a bit wider.
Lazy hand. Get a result here.
Oh, might have made 2.
Oh dear. Can you imagine what's going on in Burke's head now?
Yeah, he's muttering. Who will forget the days of Neil skipping Smithies? They were at each other
all the time.
From the trial end.
From the get-go, the two of them were going at each other. And I tell you, it wasn't only Neil and Brian and Neil. It was Daniel Loebscher and Brian Smith.
Okay.
The two of them were also. You know, sometimes I wondered if they were actually playing the opposition or playing against themselves. It was crazy. I remember losing.
Did it ever get to you, Alan?
No.
You just said to yourself, "Well, I've got better things to do than to listen to this sort of nonsense all afternoon."
No, I could see the funny side of it.
Yes, a bit of banter, good banter.
Yeah, and that wasn't directed at them. They were having a go at each other. You know, I don't think they were intending to put the opposition off. It was just the way they played the game. You know.
Two good players in their own right.
Oh, absolutely, and they both played South African seniors. Brian Smith and Daniel Loebscher.
Daniel Loebscher to me was a fine line bowler. He was a lefty, you recall. Played a good line, played a very good line.
No, I recall that.
Yeah. So Burke's only stood down 1, he won't be too unhappy. 8-4, up after 7. He's got 4 on the cushion with 2 to go.
Yeah, I know. I mean, Daniel was the type of guy that, if you could bowl every hour of the day, Daniel would be there. He practiced and practiced and practiced. And he was one of those individuals where he had to work at it. It didn't come easy.
Wasn't a natural, yeah.
Wasn't a natural. He had to work at his
Yeah.
game. And in fairness, I mean, he achieved a hell of a lot in the Western Province and in Bowl South Africa, and he deserved it. The amount of time that Daniel put into the game.
You say he played SA Vet Masters?
I'm 100. Yeah, he played veterans.
Certainly
Masters.
not Open Masters.
No,
No.
he played veterans, and he also played South Africa against Namibia, and those
Okay.
test matches.
Yes.
Let's see if that little fortunate result from Esme won't affect somebody like Neil.
Well, like we've said before, she a 2 year will sort of give her a little
her a
bit
chance.
of a chance, a bit of
Yeah.
a smell.
Yeah, I think she's got another good one. Yeah, if she can make the trip. Still pulling up. Yeah, but it's a nuisance bowl.
Yeah, there's still a bit of room for Burks. He's elected to stay on that forehand. Didn't look like he put that down well. Yeah, never came out well. Bit of a bump.
I would agree. You'd think if I'm agreeing with you, when I saw it when he delivered it, also it wasn't that normal.
Yes. Which it's quite normal at our age, Alan. We have those every now and then. You can't expect at our age for that bowl to come out like it used to when you were in your 30s and 40s. That's better, Neil. That's a lot smoother.
Absolutely.
And he's close.
Slips that
He's
front one.
very close. Oh,
Falls
that's
on
a
the
great
back one.
bowl.
That should be
That's
enough.
magnificent.
Yeah.
That should seal the deal for the first set, Alan.
Finds the port. She's got it. Another end after this one. Eh? Is it tight enough? No,
Looking at it.
it's not going to come back. 8-5.
We'd wait for the shot.
Yeah. Rain is almost a nuisance. I mean, that's all it is. It's not doing anything. It's not affecting the bowls, but just a very light drizzle.
Yeah, nobody's gone for the jackets yet.
No. I think the only way we know it's raining is that it's on the gazebo. We can hear a little bit of it. Looks like Tyler Pitcher took the first set on the ring next door against Miles Norman. And that win will keep him on top of the section.
Absolutely.
With Esme, I think. Esme would have to win this game. Oh, well bowled, Neil. maybe with the green slowing down, it's picking up on that problem they had last year when you go slightly inside the line, and then didn't seem to be doing that earlier on.
Yeah. Neil's got that little bit of extra weight.
You can afford to give away
Absolutely.
one. He's surrounding the jack now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right, Alan. That experience has kicked in. Such a fierce competitor. Great ball from Esme.
Is that two? Let's see what Derek says. Could be very interesting if this is two. One in a measure. It makes it trippy.
The stick is not lost for Esme. A
No.
little trail, 6-inch trail on that jack, and she's in the pound seats, Alan.
Well, I think she should put a bowl down and go and have a look.
See how far she needs to move
needs
it
what she's
by,
got to
etc. Yeah,
She's
she's a little quick on the mat.
Yeah.
I agree. Oh, I'll tell you what,
She's inside Neil's ball.
she's very close. She's very close. Oh, she's
Yeah,
played
she's
it.
got
She's
it.
played it. That jack actually made contact with the shot bowl, the jack arm bowl, and stopped it from going through that extra bit.
Yeah. I think it could be three. It is. Great shot. Great shot, Esme Kruger.
Neil won't be short. He'll be at it.
He is. Is he under?
He's under.
He's under. Esme somehow has. She's got a peel out of the first game.
Can you believe it?
First set. Unbelievable. From nowhere.
See,
Well played, Esme. Can I change my prediction?
another lesson to be learned. Don't tip. Don't say he sealed the deal, because he didn't.
Yeah, look, as long as you accept the fact that there are occasions you're going to be wrong. So as a selector, you know you don't always get it right. As much as
No.
you try,
We always get it right, Alan. You know that.
no.
Well,
No.
or let me rather say, you can't keep everybody happy.
Well, that goes without saying. I mean, if you take that job on and you try to keep everybody happy, you're wasting your time. But, yeah, I'd like to think we got it right all the time. Sometimes the players don't respond, but, yeah.
I think two most important elements or components is transparency and honesty.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we're all just humans. You know, we can make a mistake, or we see things differently, not necessarily making a mistake.
Yeah, I just think that sometimes it's people look at selection and don't look anything much more than past the players, you know, and sometimes it's more than players.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you need to look at combinations and how players will work together, you know. It's,
I think, as I've said before, it's almost like you've got to have that third eye, especially when it comes to identifying new talent. But it's a big responsibility, Alan, especially at national level.
oh, for sure. Like I had a few opportunities to do the job, and it was still when I thought I was playing fairly good bowls, and I didn't want to interrupt my bowls. So I was in my 50s, and they offered me the position, and I turned it down. So
Yeah, Neil's responded very well here. He's got
Great
fantastic weight. Yeah, Alan, over the last couple of weeks and months, I've been watching a lot of bowls, and there are times that you want to get on the green and get back in the action and enjoy the banter from the boys. She's very close.
oh, great try,
Great weight.
great try. Neil's opted on a couple of occasions to play this hand. Let's see if he can get it right. That seemed to be on the tight line, which maybe is a better option than going wide.
I don't want to go too wide on this hand, Neil.
No, that's why I say.
Alan.
That's why I say you learn from it.
No, his weight's superb.
Yeah.
What a great bowl.
Brilliant.
That is a great bowl.
Under. That little clap of the hands. Always wanted to ask Burks what that meant. Was it good or bad? Oh, that's brilliant, Neil. Bounces back after I'm sure the shock to the system of having peeled that first set. Esme picked up a brilliant 3. Bounces back with a 3 of his own. I don't know if Johan got upset with something I said, but he's left the commentary box. Otherwise he's just going to the loo. Excuse that little quiet. Just trying to get back into the YouTube link and see if there are any comments. Yeah, I suppose it was only a matter of time before Jeff Newcomb posted a comment. He's actually not far away from me, Jeff. I don't know if I speak a bit louder. Neil, he's basically saying you must tighten up a little bit, no? From the coach, Jeff Newcomb.
Okay.
How are you keeping, Jeff? I hope all good. Yeah, guys, I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but the question keeps coming back. Good shot from... Oh, she sold it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Neil's holding one.
I don't know if I'm repeating myself, but even Barnard has actually said go to the Fairtree Bowlsmaster app for live scores and logs. So I've been there. It gives you everything, all the scores, the ones that were played through the day, current scores. It gives everything. It's a marvelous app. And 2 shots to Neil. What can Esme Drew? See, draw the shot. Yeah, it's on its way. Just going to run through it. Yeah, I just ran through a bit. 2-0. Yeah, thank you, Sean. I'm glad you're enjoying the bowls. We're certainly enjoying bringing it to you. Once again, Cape Town Bowls Talking Heads. You'll find them on YouTube. And Johanna and myself are trying our very best, I can promise you, to try and keep it interesting. It's not easy because off the commentary we don't really get on, but no. Obviously for the purpose of the that was a combination, eh? France and Dries.
As a playing pair.
No, but as brothers. I mean,
They didn't play all that much.
no, but I mean, as
together.
two brothers. I mean, both
Yeah.
both into bowls, and Dries was involved on the coaching side at one stage, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was,
Bowls South Africa.
national coach for a couple of years.
And France Duplessis with his collar up and sleeves rolled up, just one roll, and I mean, he was a character of note.
Don't be short of me, son.
Don't be short of my son.
Tough as nails.
Yeah, of course, France also started down here in Cape Town.
I think he was at Mowbray. if I'm not
Mowbray
mistaken.
and Marist were the
Yeah.
two clubs he played. Slow down.
Yeah, she's corrected her weight very nicely. Yeah,
That's enough. Well bowled. Well bowled. I think Neil's found this little holding backhand now and sticking to it. He gets inside his bowl.
So, Esme is holding.
Yeah. What's he going to do yet?
Well, let's see if Neil might just change his hand now. He's opted to stay on that backhand. So
Looking just to get under that short bowl
play
of
with
his.
more weight onto the bowl.
Yeah. Yeah, he knew that could be the one downside of opting for that hand. He's turned his own bowl out, and I think Esme's now lying 2. Don't think she's quite got the running. Definitely 2.
Brings a glitter of hope back into the set.
Absolutely.
Looks like Tyler is running away with this game. Won the first set and he's up 9-1 in the second. And that's against Miles Norman.
Yeah. I think Davy O'Hearn is. He lost the first set and 9-1 down. Are you looking at? Oh, they're both 9-1. Both green and 9, red's 1. It's virtually a
Can you
carbon
believe
copy.
it?
They're identical. I was very pleased to bump into old Desi Rosenblatt today. I haven't seen her since I played Masters back in the Rinderpest. What a lovely young lady.
Yeah, from the Club Kwacha in Quebeja. A real fighter. Somebody that you really want in your team. The chips are down. Lovely personality.
Lovely, lovely girl.
Always a smile on her dial.
Yeah, that's the one thing that's that you miss when you get out of the going to play in nationals and inter-districts, is that that friendship that you over the years you build, and then you don't see them for a year, and then you come back together again, and you play it tough on the green, but you're always happy to have a little tipple afterwards.
Absolutely, Alan.
Talk about the match and talk about the past and reminisce.
Yeah, and the birds and the bees.
Yep.
So Alan, excuse me if I've asked you this question, but going back into the sort of 70s, 80s and maybe even early 90s, the era of the Watsons, the Mosleys, the Gattys, the Rayfields, the Campbells, the list goes on and on, Ashley van Winkel, Cyril Lahana, etc. Who in your opinion, who was, maybe a bit of an unfair question, but who was the one player that really brought tears to your eyes?
Look, at some stage in my early career I played against all of them. My first interprovincial I was playing third against Nanda Gatti, so very fortunate that I caught them towards possibly the end of their careers.
What a
But
character on the green, what a character.
yeah,
Played for the crowd, flamboyant, always neatly dressed in his cream, that's how I remember him, with a cigar in his mouth.
Yeah, that happened to be a JBA thing. They never went white. They were always cream in those days.
Really?
Always looked smart.
Okay.
Yeah, always very smart. But I think if I've got to answer your question, I don't think you need to look further than Doug Watson.
Yes.
I think Dougie Watson did so much for the game of bowls. I mean, if you think of world bowls, and obviously they all five of them played their part. But I think Dougie Watson was the one, for whatever reason. There was an aura, there was something about him. And I think he made a huge change to the game. I think a lot of people...
Massive.
Yeah. I think a lot of people started playing after 1976. I think there was a huge growth in the game of bowls.
Big introvert.
Yeah. Now I played against Dougie a couple of times, and like to think I competed for bowl nil. Bill was like, he was the type of guy that was quite happy to be on his own. Very difficult. I think in today's, the way selection is done and all that sort of thing, maybe he was almost one of the reasons why you would leave him out the side, because he wasn't a team man. But that might be the case, but as a bowler he was phenomenal.
Yeah, I echo what you say, Alan. Francie always asked Frans du Plessis that question many times, and there's no doubt in his mind that Dougie was just at his best. He was just that notch better than the other guys. But growing up into the game and watching those sort of players perform at national level, at the Masters, etc., Bill Mosley to me was my sort of icon. He was the sort of guy that I just was sort of fascinated by. This chap, the way he walked, the way he played bowls, the way he dressed, just stood out for me. Fortunate, very fortunate towards the end of Dougie Watson's career. He retired, as you know, at Margate, where my late father Dries was the president, and I happened to play a couple of sort of bounce games, Wednesday afternoon games with Dougie leading for him, which was an absolute privilege and an honour.
Unreal. Love it.
Then I got into trouble with him one afternoon. My late father said, I can park there, it's Dougie's parking, but he's not coming through this afternoon. So I parked there. It was on holiday. And Dougie arrived.
Oh,
And he called me into the clubhouse and he said, let me tell you, my boy, what the rules are. So,
if you look back at some of those pictures of that 1976 side, and you see old Kevin Campbell with his afro.
oh yes, yeah. And his brown shoes.
Yeah. Now Neil's opening up a bit of a gap here. They loved Dougie up in Joburg. I mean, he was a hero in that Johannesburg and surrounds that area. I mean, I remember playing one Masters that he was involved in. They just loved Dougie. I mean, can understand why.
Yeah, and if memory serves me correct, he became good friends with Graham Pollock. And they were two interesting chaps to chat to, you know, as a pair, in the pub afterwards and so on.
Looking good, yeah, Esme.
No, it's good.
He's quite enjoying this forehand coming this way.
Absolutely.
Playing some good stuff.
Not out of it. Scores on
No,
it. No, there's a couple of instances. It's a long way to go.
Well, I thought she was out of it in the first set.
Yes, yeah, so did I. Proved us both wrong.
What's your weight like here, Neil?
No, he's good.
What's your weight like here, Neil?
Not a good bowl, not a bad bowl, but not a bowl of value.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Absolutely. Just makes the next one a little bit trickier for him.
Absolutely. Yeah. And
He doesn't want to touch it.
that's got
It's
more
okay.
value to it.
Absolutely, that's
Yeah.
fine. The gap. I say he's got a chance of getting his bowl, or the rain's being unkind to us here, but it's coming in. It's
Got another angle.
it's not going to come back.
Oh,
He
not
obviously
wasted.
wanted to play
Yeah,
with that weight.
Absolutely. What a legend he became in Australia
Yeah,
and in Hong Kong. I love him in Hong Kong.
yeah.
Jackie Wong and company.
Well, irrespective of Neil on the green and the qualities he's got on the green, he's a great storyteller.
Yes.
And I've been at clubs like Western Province Cricket Club when Neil was there, and everybody just gathers around him. The storytelling, and Cricket Club decided that they no longer required his services, and that's when he moved over to Oz. And I don't think it really benefited Western Province, quite honestly. What you looking at, Neil? Give us a hint, mate.
Alan, I remember playing Neil one year in the Masters at Edenvale at the SA Masters, and I was up a couple of shots, and both France and my dad, Rhys, was there watching the game, and I was really playing well, and I got a little rubble for bowl, and Neil gave me a look, and that was the whole game just changed right from that moment.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a
Hallelujah.
hallelujah.
No,
It was a nice week. Neil didn't think so, and he sort of, he just had to give me the look,
Yeah.
and that was me.
No, I've been there. Close. Slip.
Used to
Slip.
slip.
Yeah, I think her weight was
Weight
good.
wasn't bad, Alan.
She slipped
Yeah.
it, she was good.
All right, well,
Yeah.
she stays within at 6-3 after 5. Those bowls all look similar.
They do, eh? Now, I was looking at them just now when you were saying Tyler Pitcher's playing well, and it wasn't Tyler's ball that was on the jack. We did the under 30s last year at Glen. Dan Vaughan played Armand Escare in the final. It was a very good game of bowls. And Miles Norman's daughter was there,
Okay.
who's really relatively new to the game. And I think everybody was so impressed with this young girl's demeanour and the way she played the game. I think it was like her first major tournament, and she really played well. I think she's had a few physical problems, been through operations. I had a chat to him at lunchtime, and he says she's going to come through that and we'll be back. She played a few Muta games, the league in Cape Town. She couldn't play both days, which is this year they decided on Saturday afternoon, Sunday morning, double headers. And she physically wasn't up for it, but there's one to look out for. Any other lady selectors? This is my tip for 2025.
Great. Neil's been very good with his weight throughout the game. He's been consistent. He's hardly had a bad end.
Yeah.
Might just be too quick to come back. Yeah.
Esme's held her own. I mean, it hasn't been a mismatch. She's played.
Oh, well, to be
really
expected,
well.
She's played at a very high level for many years. Lots of experience. You won't be happy with that.
Esme switching to her forehand. She's going to bend back.
Yeah, she's
going
got
to
the
bend
weight.
back. She's
very close,
got it.
Alan.
She's got it. Didn't stay with it. I think Neil might still be holding.
Yeah.
She got that in the teeth.
Oh. Because ultimately, I mean, that's what she's looking for. She's looking for a double number. Neil's weight like here.
No.
Not up to it. Well, she's got a chance. She can, even 1 year is good. But a touch on the jack, slight movement.
Yeah.
That'll be the bonus.
Yeah, on that bowl of Neil's, people watching at home might say, wow, that's a real poor bowl. Well, we've seen a lot of players do that today, so there's something there. You go a little bit wide.
Oh, well, she's very close here, Alan. Very, very close. She's drawn the shot. What a great shot. She had the right sort of weight to make three.
Gonna hold.
Oh, no, he's up.
He's not up. He's not up.
Hasn't got the weight. I mean, I wonder if she's made maybe two out of it. With that slight movement on the jack, this back bowl.
Whatever it is, it looks like
No.
Neil's conceding. Oh, he hasn't moved the other balls. Okay. One. Yep.
In for a good finish here, Alan. 6-4 to Burks after 6.
What about another peel? Eh?
Oh,
I don't think you'll get many of those, but that will
Yeah.
be interesting. First game up tomorrow, Jason against Nick. Jason Evans, Nick Rustling. On paper, that should be a brilliant game. Second game up, Sean Thomas, Johnny D'Souza. As I said to Sean, it won't be a quiet game. Mr. Bowles against Portugal.
I had a chat to Sean early on, and on his own admission, Alan, he wasn't. He's gone off form. Didn't have a good inter-district, but somehow, these greens have allowed him to find his rhythm again. He was quite happy with his morning game. Form is temporary, as you know.
Of course. Ismail's played this forehand very well.
Very
coming this
well,
way.
yeah.
I mean, it's
Absolutely.
okay, a couple of feet here and there, but never far away.
Neil's close here. He
Yep.
put that down very nicely.
Yep,
Corner shot.
that's the number.
Great weight.
Yep, once again, the line was good. I think it falls in. And left.
So Neil's got Tyler pitcher tomorrow. Right, still got to play Tyler.
I think he lost to Tyler.
Oh, you did?
I think he lost to Tyler. I'm sure Neil lost his first game and it would have been to Tyler. Neil's good again, yeah. Well, if it's not in, it might be nuisance value. I can have a quick check, Johan.
Well, if that's the case, I mean, then it opens up the section. I think so. I think Neil won his game. Could be wrong. Oh. Good chance here, Neil's got. There's a bit of room here to draw two or turn his bowl in for another. His weight looks pretty good. He's done exactly that. He's possibly made 3, Alan.
Now Jerry's taken
Section
control.
14.
Yeah. Just going through the results.
So he lost
Yep.
to Tyler.
Yep. So that loss to Tyler in the first game could prove very damaging.
And Tyler's got to play Esme.
Yeah. It could open up the section.
Absolutely. This is where shots can come into play here in a big way.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, definitely.
Two is out. I know they're measuring for 3. 2 shots.
Sure, Pam will be happy at home. Her passport's ready for collection. Off to the UK in May.
Wife Kathy had hers renewed. She received hers a couple of days ago, so she'll be off to Hong Kong while I go to the Nationals.
Where's Nationals headquarters?
Quebec.
Port Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Quebec. Tyler's playing well. Tyler's just won his game, so he's moves to the top of that section. 2 for 2. Should be enough for a shot, eh? Ball for ball, heads are changing.
Not done yet. We'll need to get another bowl in there. There's no doubt that Neil is steering that bowl down.
Yep. Just not going to come back, just over the weight, a little bit too much weight. Neil's definitely got 2 seconds, I would say. Yeah.
At least. Even a little extra line and he's pretty close. Left it.
Yeah.
Dead draw will do it, Alan. Got the line.
It's a little rub. Oh, she needed that one, eh?
just ran
Ryan?
past.
She needed that one.
Absolutely.
Yeah. 8-6 against 8-5, big difference. Playing the last end.
You know, again, surprisingly, she didn't go up.
Yeah,
Have a good look.
yeah,
Visualize it.
yeah. Yeah, I think it's something you picked up early on, and she's done it a few times. She's with the last bowl in her hand, and maybe take your time and just go and have a look. See exactly how far the bowls are away. I know you only sit 30 meters away, but still, maybe you get a bit different perspective if you go to the head and see the way the bowls are lying. She's in the ditch here. No.
Well, and if you look at Esme's delivery, I mean, she's reached the back end of her career, but it's still silky smooth. It's a solid delivery.
Yeah.
Can't fault it too much.
No, it's never changed over the
Yeah.
years. And, yeah, no, extremely focused individual, Esme. It's put a hell of a lot into the game, and she's got a return for that.
Bit of a change of length here. They've gone a bit longer. Is that your butcher?
It's Mr. Barker. Played everything together with Graham. He's obviously wanting to know what the scores are. Rob O'Neill.
He's just played a corker.
Yep. And that's nice to see. Esme gave a little clap there. And well bowled.
Absolutely. Not out of it.
No,
a bit
not
of
at
movement
all.
on
No,
the jack.
she gets the jack now.
Playing with that sort of weight.
It's a tight line. She's gonna
Oh,
hold.
she's under.
It's gonna hold.
She's under.
Yeah. On that hand, if you're going to miss it, unfortunately, that's where you got to be. You go fraction wide, then it won't come back. Neil will put something at the back here.
Well, that's really the game. I mean, at best you can get a triple.
Neil, have you learnt nothing? Years and years and years I tried to teach this guy the game. I'm sure you'll agree with me, Jeff. That's Jeff Newcomb.
Okay.
And now she's gone too wide. Yeah. Neil.
Right, this is for the shot aggregate.
Yeah, that's it. You think, well, the game's over, but Neil gets another shot here. You never know. Everybody ends up equal on points. Right. That's just about it for the day, guys. That's 4 games. Johan, thanks very much for
Alan.
that.
Very enjoyable.
It's not bad from 9 o'clock through to what's the time now? It's a long stint. You can go and do your interview.
Thanks very much.
Just try and get your act together tomorrow, mate. Now that he's left the booth, I can say that. What do you say, Cole?